Get it? How you guys doing this week?
Good.
Fine. Well, we didn't get rain, but it was chilly.
Yeah.
And I saw this weekend, I'm like, man, weekends are not the days to train right now.
Yeah.
Any questions about the stuff you covered last week or anything?
No, she's been doing really good with everything.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Jumping on people's stuff?
No, not really. It's been limited. The few times that I've been able to get the collar on her before somebody comes in, she's really good. There was one time that I think somebody came in and no, she didn't even jump that time. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's doing really good.
Okay, is there any like behavior stuff in the home that you're having issues with still, or?
No, she's really good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. See, there's really no behavior issues. It was just the jumping on people and when we walk in there trying to go after everything.
Sure.
And that's been eliminated now. And even we had, people come pick up stuff from the house, and I had her outside, and she does the same exact thing. She'll stay with me. If I tell her to stay, she'll stay. I tried out the 30-yard leash, and I had her stay, at the end of the driveway, and
Sure.
she was staying. I didn't start doing any recalls or anything like that.
Yeah, we'll cover that today. And then, because I was going to send them today, so that you had till Sunday to watch them, but then I think got switched last minute. But were you able to watch the videos at all?
For the leash handling?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because it'll make things a lot easier. Because rope burn is something that can happen in handling a long leash.
Yeah.
I've had it happen to clients, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So good. Any questions, or you good with all that stuff?
I'm good. He hasn't had much training with her.
Sure.
But I'm really comfortable with her. Yeah. She's been doing really good.
Awesome. Yeah. So what we'll do is I'm gonna have you keep that leash on her.
Okay.
I suggest removing your clip bag holder, and we're gonna clip the long leash to the same ring as your regular leash,
Okay.
or you actually can clip it to the purple color. Hey Enrique, would you tell Corey the food's outside? All right, and we'll give your son, Aiden, correct? We'll give your son the short leash, and I'll have you take the long leash, and you're gonna step off that way.
Should I give her a command, or she's already in position?
Was she in the heel or anything?
No, I didn't give her.
Okay, you're just walking, then you're fine. Because he'll just hold the leash as he is, and then go ahead and bring the remote with you as well. And what's your number, Ben?
About 30.
30? Let's go ahead and dip her down. We'll go down to 18. You're looking for the end? It's right there. Yeah. So go ahead and just hold, you keep going, Rick, and then I'm just have you hold Cali like that, okay? So this is like the most, I think, coordination heavy command, because you got to worry about how you're holding the leash and stuff. Is we're not going to use the word come right now, or any sound. We're going to teach Cali first to respond to that remote, okay? So what you're going to do in the beginning is get a good grip on Cali, I'm gonna have you just pull your leash or walk back. Yep, keep walking back. Right there. Do you feel tension?
Yeah.
But it's light, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a step in. And no tension, right? So what we're gonna do here is tie these two things together. So when you step back and you feel that bit of tension, it doesn't have to be a lot, just enough that you know she feels something, is you're gonna do that and you're gonna start remoting at the same time, okay? And then when you see Cali start to move towards you, you're gonna take off the pressure and start to move backwards as you reel in your leash. Okay? So you put tension on her, you start remoting, right? Cap, cap, cap. See how there's no response? Let's go ahead and go to 24. Tap, tap. And when Cali starts to go, you can drop your leash. Tap, 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 tap. 28. Tap, 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 and tap, and back. Tap, 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 back. And hold. And break. Okay, we're going to bring her back to Aiden.
Tolerated.
Cali, come here. Cali.
Go and grab your short leash. There you go.
No.
What are you eating, Cap? Call her. You gotta call her.
Go ahead and grab her leash. There you go. Go ahead and walk back with her. Aiden, walk back with Cali. There you go. Yep. All right. And Aiden, if you pull that leash out from under her, this command gets really messy with the long leash and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And go ahead and bump your number. Let's try 32. And back. And then when you feel that tension, tap, 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 and let your leash go. There you go. Tap and back. Tap, tap, and wait. Turn to face Cali, and back, and tap, 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 and wait. And back, tap, tap, and wait. And pray. Very good. And break.
Cali, come here.
Go ahead and walk over to her. She may not want to leave you now because of the remote. It's good. Good, and then walk back with Cali. Try fiddling with the thing to see if it cuts it out. Yeah, there you go, front leg. A little forward. Good. And back with the pension. and tap, 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 and back, back. 1, 2, wait, and right. How's better? Want to take Cali? Right? Breathe. I'd go in and cut it. Start the recording and unplug the mic. Better. You're at 32, right?
Yes.
Let's try 35. And when you're ready, back, tension, and tap, 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 and back. 1. Turn to face Cali, tap, 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 back, tap, back, tap, back, good. Tap, back, back, tap, back, back, tap, back. Move back, tap, good. And praise. Good. And break. Go and grab Cali. Repeat, we're going to do one more. Good, yep, going to walk with her. And you're 35?
Yes.
Let's try 38. So when you see her stall to scratch, you just keep your movement. So some tension's going to kick in, and you just keep moving so that it pulls her off of the itch. But I saw you when she ran and she like overshot it, and you right away pivoted to face her. That was correct. Okay. So the general rule here is you're always keeping the front of your body facing Cali, but always moving away from her. Okay. So what you might get is like if she starts to spiral or like run around you in a circle, it's gonna be like this. Okay. Until eventually you'll see her lock in, and then you just keep in that direction, but you're always facing her, but moving away from. So if she overshoots it, you're correct. Automatically turn, start remoting to get her to come back to you, okay? Whenever you're ready. Tap. Good. And praise. And break. Let's try for 2 more. Pull, pull, pull. There she is. Yep, keep going. Keep walking. Keep walking, yep. So the reason we have the short leash is because dogs get savvy to the exercise and they'll start running back prematurely, or that happens where she doesn't want to leave you because she knows you're going to call her again. So we use the leash so that we can force the separation. Okay? Whenever you're ready. Tap, back, tap, tap. Good. That's fine. Good. And break. Good. One more. Back, tap, 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 back, good. Very good. Gonna pause for a second. Very good. So easier now,
Yeah.
right? More, she's coming directly to you.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do for this next view is the same thing, except now you're not going to put tension. Okay? You're going to leave it just before to be slack, and then you're going to start remoting, and we're going to see if she'll do the recall with the remote without the guidance. Okay? If she looks confused or if she isn't getting it, you would keep tapping and then apply the pressure of the leash to direct it to you. Okay? Our voices coming through? Tap, tap, tap. Watch out, Aiden. There you go. Tap, tap. Now back, tap, tap, and pressure. There, good. And a couple steps back, like that. Perfect. Good. Praise. Atta girl. Again. Break. Yep. And back. 1, 2, 3. Good. Wait. Back. There you go. Tap. Back. Tap. There you go. Wait. And praise. Good. And break. 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 Good. Gonna bring Cali. So now she doesn't want to leave you. It's okay. So go ahead and pull her. Keep pulling. Pull, pull, pull. There she is. And you're at 38 still?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep it there. I'm going to pull in on Cali a little bit, Aiden. Yeah, like that. Good. And hold. Pause. We're going to pause for a second right here, okay? Just to let her settle. So she's getting a little paranoid now because of what we're doing. It's like the repetition of it.
Right.
It's normal. So when you work with her with your family, you'll be doing the same thing, having the second leash, so you can force the separation. And I would suggest putting some space between every repetition, so it's not so back to back. Okay, we do it because I have to train you to train her, but realistically speaking, I wouldn't repeat it that frequently. Okay, and I'll talk about how you can apply it more realistically. But when you're working with your family to do controlled recall, I would put a little bit more space between them, okay? When you do your tap and she starts moving towards you, I want you always to do at least 2 to 3 steps back like this, okay? The reason for that is that becomes her visual cue to come back, okay? We're gonna put a word to this, but if Cali is all the way over there at the end of the field and she can't hear you, and she feels the remote, and she turns and she sees you, and you're doing this, she's gonna see that as a recall. Okay, so she can't hear you, but she can see you. So if she were to be off at a greater distance, the remote, her default should be to return to you, but if anything, she should at least try to find you, and then your body language will tell her from that point what to do, okay? And I do this to this day with my dogs. They've been off-leash trained for 8 years, and I still, if I call them, you'll see me do this, okay? At least 2 to 3 steps. Once you feel she's locked on, you don't need to do it. You can go ahead and come to a stop. But at the very beginning, it's very important, okay? Whenever she makes a mistake and she goes off the wrong way or makes a tangent, you would simply pivot, walk back, and the moment she locks on, you would stop moving and let her complete the way, okay? Questions so far? All right, go for it. Yep, good, good. Yep. Good job. Break. Let's try 2 more. Yep. Perfect. And last one. Pull, 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 pull.
Might give me a lawn chair. It's just sit down.
Yep, yep, good. Good job. Very good. Good, we'll tell it break. And what we'll do here, let's swap. You'll keep the leash and everything, but I'll have you come over here and have Aiden go over there just to change it up a little bit. So now, she's not needing the leash pressure, right? At least in this kind of setting. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is layer in the word come. If you want to use the word, or if you want to use the name, then the word, it's personal preference. I myself, I believe, use the name, then the word. And this is the only command that I do the name with the word, Cali come. Heel, sit, down, all that stuff, I always keep it singular, unless I'm working with more than one dog at once. Then the names get really important. So here, everything stays the same, except you're gonna issue Cali come, and as soon as you say that word, immediately tap, okay? Now, if Cali starts to come to you before you end your phrase, you're still gonna remote, okay? So, if you call Cali and she comes to you, or she starts to move to you, and then you tap, so it's delayed, what do you think might happen? She'll go the other way. Okay, so in the dog's mind, they heard the cue, they responded before the tap. That when the tap kicks in, they think maybe this is wrong. So if that happens, you would keep the pressure on and move back. You wouldn't repeat, just keep the pressure on until she moves to you. It actually already happened on that last one. She went back to your son Aiden, and you kept promoting and moving back. That's the exact same thing, okay? So you're causing confusion, and you're forcing her to think through it and forcing the return. And this is super important because in real life, should anything ever happen that Cali gets scared and runs away, a dog's instinct when you remote them is to typically keep going or go faster. So if you have to jack it up and override that, if you've never worked through confusion or panic or anything like that before, good luck, okay? So this confusion is very similar to that circumstance. So it's controlled. We got a long leash, we had your son on another leash, right, all that stuff. That if I see that, I want to make sure I get that out the way now, so that in the future, if you have to go to 127, I'm not worried about it. Does that make sense? Because when the dogs get confused, people tend to want to stop and like help the dog through it. I'm like, real life's not going to let that happen. If you see when you're working with Cali, like she gets tangled a little bit, I work the dog through it. So like the dog gets tangled, then they'll be like this and stuff, right? And I'll keep promoting them and moving back. But you do want to be mindful that if her leg is too wrapped up, it can break her leg, okay? I had this happen to a client prior to training. Her dog was playing, the leash wrapped around the leg, and then it broke, okay? So to a degree, you're just using your common sense. If it looks like earlier when it was wrapped around and you had him remove it, like that was definitely not a good wrap. Like it was solid, right? But a lot of cases, it's just tangled up in their feet that I force them through it, because it's the same thing in life, right? That I take it, I use that to my advantage. I go, okay, cool, she's not gonna get hurt. I'm on the long leash, she's okay. I'm gonna work her through this, work her through the confusion, and you'll see the dog panic. and try to do everything else but return to you, make them come back. Okay? Questions? So you're going to issue the word, and then immediately follow with the remote. Even if Cali starts to come to you, you're still going to remote her, okay? Whenever you're ready.
Cali, come.
Yep, good. And break. That was a good one. So right when you said Cali, she started to whip around.
Break.
Wait. Good. Whenever you're ready.
Cali, come.
Good. And there was a tap there?
Yeah.
Good. Try for 2 more.
Break.
Good girl.
The break word is not triggering in her.
For everything or only for this?
Right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
It's because since you keep calling her back,
Yeah.
she's wanting to avoid the pressure because she's like, if I stay with you, you can't call me back. So that's common.
I
She'll
use
get
it on her walks. And usually once I say break, when I start to walk, she'll just,
Go off?
yeah. But like right now, it's not doing anything.
Yeah, that's not out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Up. Yeah, hold. You didn't call her yet, right?
No.
Yeah. So go ahead and keep holding the leash. So like, because she's learning the game, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna call me, so hey, so let me just beat the punch
Right.
and go to you.
Could I have done anything in that?
No, let's just let it go. So wait for your dad to go ahead and say come when you let the leash go, okay, Aiden?
Come, Cali.
And back. 1, 2, and wait. Good. Do a couple more. Yeah, hold. Good job. And wait. So there we go. Just let her settle. You see that, right?
Yeah.
She was going back and forth, so I'll wait a little bit. Let her settle for a second. Because if it stays too consistent, she's gonna get super paranoid. Okay? Whenever you're ready.
Cali, come.
Good. Very good. And last one. Good. Yep. Let it settle. Right. Wait. Good. Whenever you're ready, Rick.
Cali, come.
Yep. And back. Up. Watch your legs. Yep. It's all right. Watch your leg. Back tap. There you go. Good. And we're going to pause right there. All right. Don't say break. We're going to have it like that. Okay? Good. So, right there, you can see that tap diffuser.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that wraparound, that would have been a really good moment.
Yeah.
But it's fine. So, this here is not realistic. okay? Because your dog's not going to be waiting for you for them to call you. They're going to be out playing, doing their own thing, okay? But this is setting your foundation. When it comes to practicing this, if you're working with your family, you can just drill it, like we are here, okay? And you saw like I changed, I go come over here, you go over there, just to change a little bit, right? Otherwise, dogs get really fixed on the way things look, and then that becomes too easy. So then I change, the location or whatever, placement. You can even give her to your son, and then you're holding the leash while he calls her and all that stuff. When it comes to realistic application, what I suggest is you take, let's say take Cali for a walk. You have her you get to the destination, you swap your leash out. If you want to make it even longer, flip your short leash to the end of your long leash, and now you have a 35-foot leash. And I'll hold on to the end like you are right there, and break, right? And I let her be a dog. And I just hold on to the end of the leash, and I'm walking with her. And let's say there's a bunch of squirrels in the tree. I'll let her go, bark at the tree, and do all that stuff, and I'll just wait here. And then 2 to 3 minutes goes by, Cali comes, right? I practice there, because that's realistic. When people call their dogs, it's almost always when they're doing something they shouldn't, they're chasing something, or they're running away from them. So I use my environment as best I can to that advantage. So if you know she's a sucker for geese, and there's a place by you with geese, I take her there. So I had a gentleman who lived across the street from this very big, open, vacant land off the river. And every morning there would be like 50 geese there. And his dog loved chasing them. So he would just go, and he had, I think, a 50-foot or a 100-foot. He had a really long leash. And he would go, and every morning he would practice recall right there. And he would change when he would call the dog. Sometimes he'd let the dog get all the way there. Sometimes when halfway there, he'd call the dog. Sometimes just at the start, like at different intervals, right? Yeah. And he did that for like a week, and his dog was solid. Because he had the perfect place for himself. He had the straps, he had a nice open area, and he had a super long leash. Which I don't recommend 100 feet, but he got one on his own. And he's like, yeah, Jess, I let my dog go off leash now, and I can call him whenever. Like, he could be in the midst of the geese, and I call him right out, because he had that ability. So here, Cali better than I do. Rabbits, squirrels, if she's got any prey drive, I use that to my advantage. And when they're, like, let's say she's barking at the tree at the squirrels, the longer you let a dog do that, the more disconnected they get from you. Okay, they start to block. It's like I can't play video games. You tell them go clean up your room. They're like, okay, and then an hour later they're still playing video games because they're blocked out. Right? Same thing for the dog. So here, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, come, and then boom, remote. Right? So what's happening is the dog will do the behavior, but they'll keep a part of their brain waiting or listening for you. Okay, so like I had a lady whose dog was staring down a squirrel, super focused. Okay, dog was right there. We're over here. The dog's not facing us. The dog's facing that way. And I said, tell your dog down. Lay her down. Plop. Didn't stop looking at the squirrel, but lay him down. And I told her, see, your dog is being mindful of you while at the same time paying attention to this. You can get that, but you just have to train it, and this is how we do so. Okay, so if you're doing that approach, the more realistic approach, the downside is you cannot drill it back to back. Okay, because if you do that 3 or 4 times, your dog's not going to want to go back to the tree because they're going to think, well, what's the point? You're going to call me. It's not fun anymore, right? So when you start to put rules and things, dogs start to kind of lose interest. So what I tell everybody is randomize the rate or frequency if you're calling your dog. So if you go to the park for 15 minutes, I might give the dog 15 minutes of loosey-goosey, do whatever you want, and I'll call him 1 time at the very end, and then we peel back home. The next day, 15 minutes, I might call him 3 times, the next time 1 time, the next time 2 times, the next time 2 times, the next time 5 times, the next time 1 time. I'm varying how many times I call them when I'm solo, because if you do it 100 times each time, they won't leave your side. Okay, so you're randomizing it so that the dog doesn't think like, oh, well, every time we come here, it's no fun, you just call me 100 times anyways. Okay, when you work with your family, it's different because you can force the disconnect. You take the leash, walk away, wait with her for a little bit, and then you can call her, right? And that's really just for the foundational stuff. The rest of it is real life application. Okay. Questions? Every time you call Cali, always remote. Even if she's like responding right away, you're always remoting because you're trying to force the confusion. You're trying to force Cali making the wrong decision and running away because you have the leash right now. Okay, you want to work through that problem now as opposed to when there is no leash. And also, don't ever use the command if you can't make it happen at this stage. Okay, so the chance. So if I have a dog who's just learning recall, and let's say I take him to the dog park, and I know it's not 100% yet, I will not call the dog. I'll go grab him, leash him up, and leave. Okay, and I keep practicing until I'm ready for that context. Because when you remove the leash too soon and you remote the dog, they have a lot more options now to turn off the pressure. And the first thing they're going to think is away. And if you can't guide them back, it's a problem. If you're in an enclosed area, I mean, you can force it, but it gets really ugly, and then people are going to be like, "What the heck are you doing to your dog?" Right? So, in those if you know you're not ready yet, I say just ignore the dog, ignore calling the dog, and just leash him up, walk away. Because for Cali, if you call her and she goes, "Nope, I don't want to do it today," and you can't make it happen, she learned to gamble. She learns that you can't always make it happen, right? But if you avoid it and you just grab her, she doesn't know that. Okay? So you can avoid the dog becoming a gambler with things simply by avoiding the context. And because for her, it's all about consistency. She just thinks, man, every time dad calls me, 100% of the time, I have to come back. That's what the dog learns. They learn like there is no other option. Whether I try to run away, try to avoid it, try to shut down, dad always makes me come back. So what's the point? Okay? Questions?
About you just mentioned that. How do you deal with the stigma of people seeing this collar?
Has anybody said anything to you?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Oh really?
Yeah, a lot.
That's funny because when I first started, like 10 years ago here in Chicago, all of my clients at least once someone would say something, and then like died down. And every now and then I'll get a client that somebody says something, but it's usually like just like one time. Is it like your family and stuff?
Some family,
Yeah.
some neighbors.
Sure.
They see that, I was like, what's that? Oh, it's
E-collar. Yeah. I mean, one, if you want to like sit down and like educate them and say like it's not like it's not shocking her,
right.
like it, it's they use this on people. That's up to you. But I don't rationalize with people, And I've had people come up to me and swear at me. I had a guy from the UK try to start a fight with me because these are banned in the UK. So I was at the dog park with one and I remoted the dog yipped, and the guy literally wanted to fight. And I was like, dude, like, no. So usually it's not a problem. The way I look at it is, obviously she's done great with it, right? And the way that you're using it, like it makes sense. Most people's thought process is you're abusing the dog. Abuse would be turn it to 100 and just remote all over the place for no reason. Right? There's a science to it. There's a, we start low, we work our way up, we adjust it according to her. As long as she's paying attention, we keep it lower. I went down to 20 today, I think it was, and then we're up to like 38 now. Because whenever we teach anything new, we want to reset, go down lower, and then work our way up accordingly. Okay? So, I tell them, I just rub my shoulders like, but I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, if you want to take a moment to educate them, by all means, go ahead, because there's just too much wrong information about that tool. But it's easy. I have 5 other clients now that are doing social distance dog training. They're getting the same results as you are because it's effective. So, other questions? So for the recall for this week, we're going to keep it just to this. Okay, so you can practice with your son or your family. Keep repeating that. How do you think you could take this same kind of setup and make it a little bit more difficult?
I would think we have a dog park by us, and I think maybe going to the dog park is a lot more distraction.
Okay. Sure, that'd be one.
Still keep the same kind of setup where he's still with consultation. I think that would help.
Okay, so that would be like an environmental one. And you know, if she's, you know, every dog is different, but like let's say you have the dog park, you have another controlled context where like you let her get just to the fence, right, to kind of see all the dogs playing and get distracted and call her up for that. And that's another way you can use it. But let's say you have, everything is the same. You have this environment, right? Just you and your son, your leashes. How could you take this exercise and make it a little bit more difficult?
Without having a second person, just having her stay and me walking away and everything.
We'll touch on that, but you wouldn't want to do that. Okay? Another guess? So here, he's stationary, right? So to mimic real life, which would be Cali moving away from you, your son is running with Cali away from you. And as he's running, you call him. See that? So he would grab Cali from you like there and start running away from her. And then at the halfway mark, you would do a recall to call her to leave him from running and go back. Right? So now you're making it more realistic. Because here it's super simple. We're just stationary. Right? There's that. There's also like taking Cali and just walking at the edge of the leash in a circle. So it's just movement. Right? And what makes this a little bit trickier for the dog is if you remote her and he's walking, she might think heel, right? So now she has to distinguish that she's shifting from walking with him to coming to you because the new command overrides the old command. So if you say, if she's in the heel and you said come, that would be the new command. If you said stay, that would be the new command. Heel, that would be the new command, okay? So if you find this gets too easy for her and you want to make things a little bit more difficult, that's how you can do so, okay, with just this stuff. Because you're trying to, it's a lot of conditioning and repeating to prep her for real life, okay? And also environment. Like you said, there's a dog park by you, and then you can either do it like this near the dog park, or allowing her to kind of get distracted by the dog park and sneaking back, letting her be there for a minute or so, and then doing the recall, okay? Think here. Questions? Did you get a chance to look up, it's Nash Off-Leash heel? No. No foundation? Okay. We're gonna dabble with it a little bit, okay? So let's go ahead and you can remove the short leash here. And I'm going to have you shorten your leash about like 15 feet. That's good. And I'm going to have you go ahead and position yourself next to Cali. And you're going to take your leash and you're actually going to hold it behind you in your right hand. And let the left hand go. Like that. Okay? Go ahead and relax. And you're going to do your heel. Everything stays the same. Your turns, your pivots, movements, everything stays the same except now Cali can get up to 15 feet away from you. So if you're walking with her and she passes you and you pivot and remote, you would keep walking, but now she can go even further and you would tap her until she comes to that side. Okay? And you're not repeating the word. This is what the beginning steps of off-leash training is, working with a much longer line. Okay? Go ahead. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Keep walking. Forward. Turn to your right. Tap. Tap. Good. Yep. Forward. Good. Go ahead and do a left turn. Yep. Bump. Bump. Good job. Forward. Good. Tap. Good. Go ahead and slow to stop. Good. Heel. Turn. Tap. 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 Good. Forward. Good. Yep. Keep forward. Tap. Good. Turn. Tap. Good. To your right, tap, tap, tap. Yep, good job. There it is, good. Good. And left turn. Good. Try speeding up a little. And walk towards your son. Turn, tap, tap. Good. Good. Go ahead and left turn. Good. Walk towards your son again. And slow walk. Good. And go ahead and walk around your son. Yep. Tap forward. Good. Keep forward, keep forward, keep forward. Pivot in. There you go. Good. Forward. Good. And go to dip down. Let's go to 28. Go ahead and left turn. Come towards me. Slow. Slower. Stop. Good. She's overcompensating because that last hit or two was too much power.
Okay.
And then we just dipped it down.
Yeah.
So, same stuff.
Okay.
But now you can see where she can go further out, right? And then using your son, Aiden, as an example or as a distraction, she started to go like, bye, Dad.
Right.
Okay? Turn, remote, boom, here she is. So, this is the beginning steps of off-leash, okay? Is we have to eliminate options. Because now with the longer leash, she's capable of going further. Mm-hmm. With the short leash, it was different, right?
Right.
So we have to work through all those kinks, okay? So you go to the park, and you can do this around that dog park you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I give her half the leash right now, and just walk around, walk to the park, walk through the paths and stuff, right? And then if you need, if you're walking by people, taking a step, being a step ahead and shortening your leash, and then, you stepped on it there or whatever. There you go. So then, just in case, right, because you're still in the training phase, you can restrict what she does, but still have control, and then use that as a thing to correct, right? So like right here, she's sitting down by you, that was all good. Distraction comes, I go, okay, here's a distraction, I'm gonna step on it, in case Cali makes a mistake, she makes a mistake, correct, but you're limiting what she can do as opposed to 15 feet of leash of what she could do.
Right.
And then once the distraction is gone, you take your foot off, okay? So it's that simple. You're just going back and forth, walking around, and getting used to also not having such close control. Right? Because now this is a new way of thinking. Your control is now that. Right? So most people, they go to physical control. That's always their first instinct. And exactly. Now when you have that long leash, you don't have that anymore. Right? So you have to work through these things. A couple things to keep in mind are just like right there, when she went off to the wrong side and I said pivot inwards, boom, she was back on your left again. So there's certain things that you have to do to remedy the problem because she can only decipher so much. Okay? There was one where she came to your right side and I saw you I think you tried to put a little pressure and you just gave a tap and she shifted. That was correct. Okay? If that's not working, simply pivot again and then you'll see the dog come into your left side and we'll correct the problem as well. Okay. If she goes too far off to your right, what I suggest is turning in to give her your left side. Because she recognizes this as the heel shoulder as opposed to this where she's got to come around. So the further out she is towards the right, the harder it is for the dog to correct to come here. Okay? So I would focus on the recall stuff. But hey, since you're at the park and you're already doing long leash stuff anyways, you can start dabbling with the fake off-leash heel. Okay, everything stays the same except longer leash. Questions? Oh, good job. So we'll be in touch. We'll let you know about next week. With the weather. So we're trying to keep ahead of the weather. Right. Hopefully we get a good weekend so we don't have to change anything last minute. But otherwise, we'll let you know. Okay. Awesome.